Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ARK Survival Ascended. And today, I'm finally going to go ahead and build my base that will hopefully be able to carry me through the rest of the game. Now, I've actually already gone ahead and built it, but I deconstructed it so I could build it here again. I just wanted to build it beforehand, get an idea of what I wanted to look like before I spent hours going ahead and trying to build it here on camera. But I have all the structures here, and yeah, this thing's going to be pretty big, so we're going to just start by getting the base foundation laid out, as that's always the best way to start making a base. But yeah, I am going to keep it right around here, though I do want to put it somewhere a little different than I originally did. I'd like to be more out here in the open rather than over tucked away by the river. I think this might be a nice spot. Got polar bear here I gotta deal with first, though. There we go. Alright. That did a number on my RG, so hopefully nothing else comes over. But yeah, it's pretty big, and honestly, this may be the biggest that I've ever built a base before, so yeah, it was pretty expensive, but in the end, I think I got it to work, and I think it's actually pretty nice. So, first thing I need to start with the foundations is I need to get my front entrance area. Always tend to do this. I can't remember exactly how long it was, though. I think I believe I went all the way to 5 foundations long. Should be a 5x6. So I think that should be about right. It should leave me the ability to go misplace one of our foundations. Not sure where it went. Should probably put this on my hotbar so I go ahead and use it. Am I not going to be able to hit it since it's underground? No, I might not. That foundation may be gone then. What if I pick this one up? Here, what if I have an idea? Can I snap one to it? Yeah. Okay, so now I should be able to switch this to multi-target, and yeah, there we go. And we'll go back to single target. Let's see, we need to start all over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's an 8, I don't exactly remember the other number. Let me just quickly pull that up. I have some reference pictures I can use. Okay, it's looking like it was an 8x22, which just sounds absolutely gigantic. So, I guess if it's going to be an 8x22, I'm going to need it to be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11. Then we will do the same on the other side. 10 and 11. There we go. Okay, now that I just have to go in and fill in, I can actually start using... I don't have to go ahead and use my brain for math, so I will get you guys caught up on everything I've done so far. So, a couple things have happened since the last episode, which, again, I do want to apologize for that being so long, by the way. I really did not know it was going to be that long. I thought it was actually going to be really short. But then when I went through the editing process, I realized that it was really long, and I actually cut out some bits, and there might be some... Things might be a little bit weird because I might have accidentally cut out the context, but I really didn't want to make it too long, so... Hopefully that's not too annoying, but... Yeah, I kind of messed up a little bit there. I do need to grab something I can take out these rocks. I'll just do it myself. But as you can see, I have some new bison over there, and I have another thrall. I found another small gamma outpost, and I quickly did that, and we got a thrall enforcer. They wield assault rifles. The other one I have was a snare, by the way, which has bolas and a pike. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with all of them. Definitely with this larger base, though, I will be able to house them in multiple different places. I tried going ahead and getting them to harvest resources for me, but I can't seem to get them to do that, so I don't know if that's just because they use almost the same code as the survivor mate, or if they actually have the ability to harvest, and I just couldn't get it to work. So would it definitely help with getting all the resources for this, though, so little bit annoyed that they weren't able to help me out, but it's alright. It took me quite a bit to get everything, but I think in the end the final build looks pretty nice. This is only going to cover the building of the main outside, all the interior design, sorry. I'm gonna have to do that later because I really don't have the time to do all of it all together. So, yeah, I just decided that I'd use this time to go ahead and kind of catch you guys up on some plans that I have for the rest of Lost Colony. I actually tried taming an Asidon earlier as the original plan for this episode, but I ended up trying to tame 3, and all 3 of them died, though I guess the last one didn't die, it just almost died, and I had to abandon the taming before it would die, so I might be able to head back for it later, but yeah. That got me thinking about the future of this series, because originally I had planned to go ahead and beat the game with Sidons, because it just made sense. They were the main apex predator of Lost Colony. It makes sense that I go ahead and use them as my main boss fighting creature. But after going ahead and trying to tame one on Lost Colony, I already knew that they'd be pretty bad from what I had done on Valguero. But Lost Colony, it's only worse, is the map is not very good for a Sidon taming. There's not a lot of small creatures that you can use to pick up in the bolus. And most of the terrain is just not very good for trying to tame them. So, yeah, I've decided that I'm still going to try and mutate them, but I'm going to need to have a backup option, and so I'm probably going to stick with Bison. I've had Bison prove to be very effective at the defense outposts, which I guess shouldn't be that surprising given that they have great crowd control with their ability to stun and throw things behind them. They're really powerful as well, and so I think that they'll actually make a really good option to help me defend those outposts as well as the other resource caches. They could be helpful for that. Of course, I will need Thylas because of the neophytes, but I think that in the long run, Bison could actually be a very good tame to have for standard infantry, especially considering that they're herbivores and can make use of veggie cakes. The only problem is that Bison are a bit of a pain to tame, so I'm going to need to get a biogrinder to go ahead and get some kibble to help me tame them, but they're probably going to be my main form of battle creature, at least for a good amount of time, and I have leftover foundations, so what's going on? I have a lot of leftover foundations. That doesn't really make any sense. Hold on, let me just make sure I counted everything right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be right. Oh, yes, that's right. I always have a ring around the outside. So that should probably cover it, so I'm just going to put this back in Bloodwing here, which I finally went ahead and named my RG Bloodwing. She's going to be reoccurring, I guess, character throughout every playthrough. My very first RG I ever got had red tips on its wings, and so I named it Bloodwing. And I've really just had an RG ever since. I always name it Bloodwing if it's a female, because the very first one was a female. So she's kind of an important character to, I guess, the history of my ARK career. But yeah, don't be surprised if you see her show up often. She will never really be left out of anything that I do. I guess aside from Aberration, because you can't have RGs there, but whatever. But yeah, so I really have been trying to think about what I'm going to do for Lost Colony and how I'm going to actually manage to beat this map, because I still am not really happy about how I wasn't able to defeat Grendel, and I really could go back and defeat him, especially if I went and mutated Theres. I really do think that I would have been able to defeat him if I just brought the right tames. And, I mean, I probably could even do it with Deinonychus if I got a good saddle for them, but honestly, I don't really have too much of an interest going back just yet. I have other things that I really want to do instead, so I'm not too worried about making that my #1 priority. Maybe eventually I'll go back on the same playthrough, but odds are I'm probably going to wait until some other time that I visit Valguero, and that's when I'll go ahead and defeat Grendel. But I don't want the same thing to happen to Lost Colony, as this isn't just a brand new boss, this is a completely new map, and I would feel really bad if I wasn't able to beat it, especially considering it's a story map, and it's so heavily story-driven. I really want to know what the ending to this is, and I know I could just go ahead and beat it on single player through commands, but I really do want to experience it myself, so I'm going to go ahead and push to do that, but I'm going to have to find ways to go ahead and beat the boss, and from what I understand, he is very difficult. So I'm thinking that maybe Bison might be a good option, but I'm also keeping the idea of Theries around, as Theries are pretty good as well, for much of the same reason as Bison, pretty tanky, herbivore, so you can use veggie cakes, and decent amount of damage. Only thing is that Bison are not nearly as good at, Bison are better at crowd control. Theries are not as good at crowd control, and so they might not be the best option, Theries that is, if he summons a bunch of thralls, which I would not be too surprised if he does, and given that they can have both flamethrowers and rocket launchers, I'm a little bit afraid to go into that arena, because there's a pretty decent chance that what they have might be able to kill me very quickly, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, on the mutation docket for what I plan to get, I'm going to try Bison. I want to get Veil Winds because I'd be able to get both Soul Winds and Mal Winds as well with Veil Winds, and as much as I'd like to do the Asidon, I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but I will give it my best shot. And I do plan on doing the Cryo as well, seeing that we already have a good stat for it. I think that's only fair that I do that. Everything okay? Okay, I think something's just attacking the base. They'll be fine. There's a bunch of Bison over there. But I also would like, if I can, to mutate the dragon, the Arlax. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. But from what I understand, they also have a very difficult taming method, and I guess we'll see when I go to tame one myself if I can actually pull it off or not, but for now, I think I'm going to hold off on saying that I will guaranteed mutate them just in case it does prove to be something that is a little bit too difficult for me. Hold on, having to pull up a reference picture. Okay. I need to go back to my box of pieces, I guess building pieces. But yeah, so I'm thinking that those are going to be what I end up mutating, and I don't really have any plans to mutate Desmodus. I think I'm going to save that for Fjordur. That's the wrong bin. I do like Desmodus, but I think that they would be better suited as a Fjordur mutation creature. They did originally come out with Fjordur, and I'm honestly still a little bit surprised they came out with Lost Colony. I get that there's a very vampire theme going on here, so it makes a little bit of sense, but still, I think that it's a little bit interesting they decided to bring the creature back before the map that it came out with, but we'll see. It's okay. I'll allow it. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, so really it's just the Veilwind and Bison right now, with potential for the Asidon and Arlax. I really don't know how you pronounce it, so, and I don't even have the name right next to me, which would make it even easier. But yeah, that's really what I have planned so far, and I'm hoping that we can tame an Asidon pretty soon, but I really do need to focus on trying to get to a higher tier in the game right now, as I am still living like I just spawned a matter of days ago. My main ranged weapon is a ascended basic bow. That's not normal at this point in the game, so I'd like to go ahead and get a few upgrades, but the main thing that's gonna help me with that is getting this base, so I want to finally get it built so I can finally go ahead and upgrade everything. And I need to get this to snap in the right spot. There we go. Don't ask me how long that took. Way longer than it should. But I need to figure out how to get back inside. Yeah, so those are kind of the plans that I'm going for now. I do also want to extend the question of what exactly form of videos is what you all would like to see. The last one was incredibly long, and I don't know if that's what is more entertaining, these super long formatted videos, or if it's better to just keep things mostly cut straight to the point and going around all the nonsense and only showing the stuff that really matters, or if more unedited and raw footage is what is more entertaining to watch. I just want to know, because I really don't know what I exactly want to, I guess, specialize in yet. That's not really something I really know, is I'm just currently trying to get used to doing this in the first place, let alone trying to figure out what my, I guess, little niche would be. So if you have any input or suggestions on what I could do to be better at this, please do let me know, as I really do want to be better at this so you guys can actually enjoy this to the fullest. I just want to be able to put something out there that you guys will be able to enjoy and hopefully can make your days a little bit better. So, any criticism, preferably constructive criticism, you have is welcome. But let's see. I'm trying to think of what I need to do next. I think I need to put the slopes up and then what? I guess we can probably do the pillars, and I should get the roof going to start, so I can work on the ceiling, or the, I guess, the cover for the entryway. I'll just take care of all this first. Very carefully put that into place. It would be nice if I had a tech chess piece for this, but it's alright. Speaking of tech tier, I've really been questioning and puzzled over the Malwyn, a creature that you unlock the saddle at 65, yet it requires you to use a Blood Forge, which you get at level 75, right? Oh, missed second O. Yeah, level 75 can only be made at a tech replicator and requires tech power in order to run, which that might not be true. I have seen times where sometimes the description of an item isn't perfectly accurate, but I feel like it is going to require tech power. But I cannot imagine that they would lock a creature like that behind the tech tier so badly. And furthermore, why can you get the saddle 10 levels before you can get the Blood Forge, let alone all of the tech tier items you're going to need to make the Blood Forge and then to power the Blood Forge? So I'm almost wondering if you're going to be able to get the stones for a Malwyn from raiding outposts. Now, I really have no reason to believe that it will actually work, other than the fact that I kind of just think it might. So I'm not exactly sure, but I might have to test that at some point, because I really do want to get a Malwyn and try it out. But of course, getting one is going to be really difficult if I have to beat the game, and I don't plan on beating the boss on Gamma or Beta. I'm going to jump straight into Alpha like I always do, so I don't really think it's going to take a pretty long time before I'm ready to go ahead and get a Malwyn, but I'd like to try one out before then, so I might go ahead and raid a couple outposts when I get to that level to see if I can get a stone, even if it's not a very good one, just so I can see what they're like. Because I do want to mutate Veilwinds so I can technically have mutated Malwinds and Soulwinds. And unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to come up with 3 color palettes, which is going to be really annoying, so I'll have to figure that out when I get there. Let's see, hold on. Need to remember when I need to put these up, when I need to put the corners on. I think I still have one more on this side. Hold on. Again, gonna pull up a reference picture. I should do this more often. Let's see. Not very descriptive. Okay, so the first one down at the bottom, I think I would need them. Okay, I think I have a little bit further I need to go. I think I go over like this, maybe? Um, yeah, I think this is when I need to put the first corner down on this end. So let's make sure that that's the right direction. And then this one should need to get replaced. I was afraid I'd fall down there. Yep, wrong button. And put this and that. This should extend over, right? No. No, I messed it up. I need to do one more over. Whoops. Pick that up and pick that up. Oh. I'll call her down here. I really like that they added all these new building pieces, like the corners. I honestly think that's one of the best parts of Survival Ascended, is that building was made even better. Though, personally, and I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me on this, I'm not the biggest fan of them increasing how tall walls are, because it increased the angle of the, all of the roofs, and I really do not like how tall that is now. Wait a minute, why am I... There we go. My mind is not building right now, it's rambling. But it makes making builds that have very long roofs very awkward looking because they're so incredibly tall. I think this is right. Hold on. Should be right there, right there. It should extend out to that, yeah. Meaning this one should go now. I think that's how it would work. Yeah, no, this should be right. So now we extend it. Nope, didn't mean to place it right there. And extend it all the way out. But yeah, I guess this is mostly gonna be me building and rambling at the same time, so yeah, get ready, you're gonna have to deal with the full force of the ridiculousness that is my mind when I'm mindlessly doing things, particularly in ARK. Just be glad that this isn't a video about me just harvesting resources, it'd be even worse. I think I did pull it out one more, though, to cover the ramps. I feel like this is just so big. Oh, well. Let's see, how long have we been doing this for? Oh, a decent amount of time. I might have to go ahead and stop until I work with the next main section. I mean, this is pretty much going to be me just placing roofs around, so I guess I will go ahead and pause this and bring you guys back when we are ready to continue the next main phase of the build. Alright, so I've gone ahead and put the first part of the roof on. I did end up messing it up a little bit, and I had to go ahead and correct it a little bit, but yeah, this is what we got so far, and I do need to put the walls in here. Looks like I forgot a couple slope roofs, or slope walls. I'm not really sure how I managed that one. I'm a little bit concerned that I want a little bit extra, but I think this is how it's supposed to be, so I don't know where they went. Let me see if I can pull for them. Yeah, here we go, where are they? Oh, there's still a bunch in there. Why do I have that many? Okay, well, I'll only pull the 4 that I need. I don't remember needing that many, but I don't know, maybe my memory's not working so great right now. And, wait a minute. Oh, because this isn't lined up properly. Did I mess up the location of the gate, or... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, I messed up the location of the gate. It needs to get moved over 1. That's my bad. Alright, we'll just put these walls back here where they belong. Then we'll do the sloped walls. There we go. And then put the gate down where it's supposed to be. Was it centered out here? Must not been. Glad I ended up catching that. Would drive me crazy later on. There we go, though. Alright, now we have to work on the second floor. And it looks like I forgot a few roof pieces, but that's okay. I can go get those later. For now, I want to go ahead and work on this part. Let's see. We need to get our walls up here, but I need to remember, because there is supposed to be 2 spaces on each side, 2 pairs, where they are going to be windowed as well. So I need to quickly pull up the reference picture. Okay. So it should be like this, then that. First set of 2. Then that should be right here, right? I think so. No, I messed it up. I need to go 4 over. There we go. Because this will now be right in front. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So just do the same on this side. Should be 5 walls over. Misplaced one of those. Where is it? There we go. 3, 4, 5. Continue it upwards. Oh, that's part of the reason why I had so many slopes, right? Let me just... I'll pull the rest of them. Oh, 16. I think that makes sense, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to snap. There we go. Let's put these 2 right there. Then we need to grab the normal walls. Like so. Then I'll need to put some in there. Grab these. And that. Nope. I'll pick that one up. Let's see if I can actually hit it. Doesn't look like it. There we go. Then, actually I need a normal wall. There we go. I think this should be right. And just continue it all the way over. Oh, right. Forgot about the windowed slots, though. I'll go through and I'll put them in a minute. Just continue over here. Need to go ahead and start from the other side. So that'll help me know exactly where the windows need to go. Alright. 3, 4, 5. And I think I went a little bit 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so now we need to put in the windows, which I will need to grab some of the railings. Order? No, why can't I grab those? Am I too far away? Might be. Walk over here, and let's try it this way. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Grab these. And now we set these up, and it shouldn't matter if I flip them or not. Like it does down there, so I should be able to just do it like this. And then I can put a normal wall in there. And then I'll use the Frontier window skin to go ahead and place there. Honestly, that might be one of my favorite cosmetics they've added so far. Just a nice way to have windows without using greenhouse, but not using the normal windows, so I'm glad they added those. No, that's right. Alright, and one up there. Continue it over. Down. Alright, perfect. I should be able to just put the walls up. I know it looks really dumb right now, but trust me, it'll look a lot better when it's all finished. Assuming that I am doing this right, it'll all look a lot better when it's finished. Alright. Now, though, I'm going to have to go ahead and finish the roofs. Oh, I didn't do this side. This should be the last of the wooden walls, too, so that should tell me I'm doing something right. Grab them. There we go. Oh. And, okay, also the last of the sloped walls. So there we go. Now I just need to go ahead and put the roofs on, and then we can work on more of the finer detail parts of the build. So I will finish putting the rest of the roof on, and then I will be right back. Alright, rest of the roof is finally put on. It's time to start adding some details. First thing I want to do is go around and actually put on the window. So let me go through here. And let's see, it would be Frontier, and grab that. I'll just put that on the hotbar, I guess. And I'm trying to remember exactly where this needs to go. It's a bit hard to remember without all the pillars, but it should be 2 right here, and 2 right here, and, oh, whoops, that's not the window. There we go. And then same thing on this side. Then I need to put one up there, and then just do the same thing right over here. There we, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, this is misaligned, isn't it? Yeah, misalign this one too. Guess that makes sense if I misalign the bit out there, so just quickly go ahead and fix that. And wait a minute. Alright, and there we go. That's the last one down here. Let me just quickly get back on Bloodwing. Looks like my Veil one might have got stuck at the foundations. Let's see if I can pull it out of there. Let's hop on, thank you. And we'll go ahead and just put it up on these. Hopefully these are oriented properly. Let's see. This one? Oh, there's my Veil one. And right there. And to fix the little gaps, we need to pull our wooden pillars. I'm not close enough again. Let's see, how much weight can I hold? Let's just check all of the structures. Nope. There we go. I'm going to need the stone pillars at some point. I'll do the wood ones for now. And it's the stone ones and the stone railing, so how's that do? Alright, we'll keep it just the pillars for now. What do we have? Oh, looks like a Megatheor got upset for some reason. Alright, but this is my little trick for going ahead and helping you use these windows with wood, is just put a thin pillar right by it and it hides it pretty well. Uh-oh. That's not good. Well, I guess I lost one of my thralls due to one of those mammoths. It's not great, but honestly, I don't really know what I was going to use them for, so I guess it's okay. Oh, let's see. Is she coming back to me? I hear her. There she is. Here, I'll just drop down so I can finish this. Actually, I don't think I need to do these ones because I'm going to have other pillars doing that. So let me just hop back on, and you got the foundations, right? Yes, you do. Alright, I'm going to need to do that now. Add my little ring of foundations. Oh, wrong one. Add the ring of foundations around the base. This is something I like to do, just to help give a little bit more depth. And there we go, and it looks like my man is being attacked, so I'm just gonna try and grab some of these guys. Help them out. Jeez. Everything's been so beat up by how much stuff just keeps attacking me. Here we go. Aside from you, Bloodwing, you need to stay following me. Okay, so Ring Foundations is done. So now I need to go ahead and add all of the stone pillars. And I also need to add the ramps to make up the entryway, as well as the railings that'll go all around the outside. And I'm going to flip these ramps upside down, as I think they look better this way. At least definitely with this build. Here, I'll just... goes up. Oh, these doors aren't open, aren't they? Yep. Flip it, and there we go. Now, just gotta go ahead and put a bunch of wooden railings around the entire perimeter. Alright, the railings are all done, so now all I have left to do is just add the pillars and the final accents to the roof. So we're going to start with the stone pillars, and we're just going to bring those all around the house. I'm just going to tell Bloodwing to stop following me for a little bit. And we just continue this around the entire perimeter. Just adding the support beams, and I'm also going to need to go ahead and add them here to the wall. So I will just go ahead and add all of this. Alright. Got the pillars set up. I believe I have all of them, though I do need to go ahead and place a couple up here on the sides. The sides are the parts of the build that I am the most likely to change. I will probably go ahead and find some window configuration later on once I figure out how I'm going to divide the floors of this building. As I said earlier, I am only going to be doing the main outside. I'm not really going to be doing much of the inside just yet, as that's going to be something for later me to handle, as I do not have time for that. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a pillar in here, and I think this is the right height it needs to be at. We need to switch this over to beams though. Yes, no, this should be the right amount, and I missed that one. It should not be that close. So let me just grab that, and whoops. Alright, then mess it up again. Here, let's go ahead and do this. Add some support beams. Wrong button again. But we'll add these support beams to go ahead and add a nice little structure to the inside of this, I guess, cover for the entryway. That, and continue this one out, and there we go. And I believe that should be everything. Now I just need to take some of the quarters. I'm missing... I still have 2 extra wood pillars, so I'm not actually sure where those belong, so I'll hold on to them for now just in case we find them. But now I need to pull the stone quarters. Again, I'm not close enough. Seems I built this in just the wrong amount of distance away from the old shack. Here. There they are. Grab those, and okay, it doesn't encumber me just yet. But now I'm going to go ahead and start reinforcing the main, roofs. So, go like that. Extend these around. Have a ton of these I need to add, so I'll have to go ahead and do some of them on my own, but I want to show off the inside here because I honestly found this to be a bit of a breakthrough on my building techniques. Honestly, I'm really happy with how this thing is turning out so far. As I said at the start, I've already built this a little bit, so I know what it's all going to look like in the end, and I'm really happy with the result. So, I'm going to continue that around, and there we go. Since those, wrong spot. Come up, grab these, and switch it there. But since they don't actually connect, we're going to grab, whoops, went over a little bit too much. There we go. That kind of anchors those into the wooden support beams above. Here, let me just put that away. And yeah, I think that looks great from out here. Only thing is now I have to go ahead and add all of these railings all over the roof of this place. And I need to add the pillars over here too, so I'm going to quickly do that. And there we go. Alright, and how many do I have left? I have 13. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea where those go, so hopefully I didn't miss any. But now we gotta go ahead and add all of these stone railings across the entire roof. So I'm gonna go ahead and reinforce everywhere where the pillars are. Flip this upside down. We're going to extend them along the middle, as well as, I mean, that one does need to go there, off of the pillars to kind of continue the reinforcement down from the pillars up here to the pillars down on the bottom. Oh. And I passed out. And I forgot I was dehydrating. I don't know if anyone else has had this issue, but ever since ASA came out, they removed the debuff sign for dehydration and starving down at the bottom right, where most of your buffs and debuffs, I guess your status effects are, and ever since then I've had a really hard time keeping track of when I'm dehydrating and starving, so if you ever notice me passing out like that, that's why. I'm not that stupid. I just like having the debuffs be very obvious. But there we go. Just continue that, and then we'll add these along the sides, coming up from these pillars. Just need to find it. There we go. I think these are a really nice way to help break up the very large amount of sloped wooden roofs that we have. I think that this was a really good way to help break it up by adding these stone railings that I flipped upside down because I like the bottom side of them better. It actually looks like stone rather than the big just black line. I guess it's kind of like stone, but it's not nearly as good, in my opinion. But yeah, it's one solid piece instead of these multiple different rocks combined together. So I like it a lot better in that form. But yeah, we just basically continue this along the entire length everywhere that there's pillars to go ahead and keep the reinforcement going. And then I think that'll be about it. So I will see you guys when I'm done with this step, and that should possibly be the end of the build, but I'll have to take one more look because I do have a couple other pieces that I don't know where they go, so I'll be right back. Alright, I think we're done. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty large, and I think that adding all the railings definitely helped break up the roof a bit. I do have a couple pieces left over, pillars and stone railings, so I'm not sure where those go. I'm sure I'll find where they're missing from eventually, or maybe they're just extra that I accidentally made and I don't use them all. But yeah, um, I will be going ahead and making it look better by fixing the interior and actually adding an interior, I guess, as there really isn't any right now. They can probably handle that. So yeah, this is pretty much what it's going to look like, and I'll just have to go ahead and fill it in. I honestly am a really big fan of this pillar here in the middle holding all this up. Looks like there's a bison there. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get rid of that at some point. But yeah, I don't really have time to go over the interior, and I still want to have a little bit of time to go over it. But yeah, I think it's pretty nice, and I think that this may be my best work yet, honestly. I'm not really that great at building, so if anyone who is better than I am has some tips to go ahead and improve this, then please do let me know. And of course, do let me know if there's anything I can do to make these videos better. This one's a little bit different than the rest of them. I've never really had one where I kind of just sit here and kind of just ramble, so I would like any feedback that you have on the content that I've been making for some time now. So yeah, I think that's gonna have to be it for this one. So let me just head over to the spot where I go ahead and end this all at. For the last time, I guess, is we're gonna be doing it with the new house. So I guess for the last time at this little shack, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, farewell.